On March 18, 2026, a tragic DV case unfolded in Lexington, Minnesota, where 44-year-old Jennifer Marsaw and her 5-year-old son Marzay Dawson were fatally shot in their home on the 9300th block of Ryan Place. According to authorities, the attack occurred before 1 o'clock in the morning when a child witness called 911 saying that she and her siblings had briefly gone for a walk, and upon returning they heard popping sounds. That's when they saw 53-year-old Irving Van Marsaw, Jennifer's estranged partner, holding a hand gun. They were freaked out and ended up fleeing to a neighbor's house after discovering what had happened. This right here is audio from the neighbor who answered the door to these children who were in distress.
At about 12:54 a.m., there was a bunch of knocking at my door, and all I could hear is, "Please help us, please help us, please help us, please, please, please." So my wife and I had got up and came to the door, and there were 3 juveniles that were at the door asking for us to help them, and said he had shot my mom and my little brother.
Now, Irving was ultimately arrested around 1:33 in the morning without incident, and it is documented that while he was in custody, he made statements suggesting his involvement in all of this, reportedly claiming that the killings occurred in, quote, the heat of passion. As the investigation continued to unfold, authorities ended up recovering a 9mm hand gun in a nearby wooded area that forensic analysis, including ballistics, shell casing comparisons, and DNA evidence linked to this fatal shooting. Now, authorities have charged him with 2 counts of second-degree murder, as well as charges pertaining to felony domestic assault and violating a domestic abuse no-contact order. Now, court records actually have a long history of escalating DV between Jennifer and Irving, including multiple protective orders obtained by Jennifer, such as a domestic abuse no-contact order that was issued in April of 2025 after she reported ongoing physical, verbal, and threatening abuse by way of him. Jennifer documented and told authorities verbally that he had threatened to kill her and her children multiple times. He was stalking her and entering her home without permission, and she was in fear for her life. Prosecutors say that he repeatedly violated any order against him, but despite the calls to 911, nothing substantial was ever done to keep him away from her. 4 weeks ago, Jennifer's cousin commented on a Facebook post of an old mugshot of his from 2025 where she says, quote, "He just tried to kill my cousin and is now on the run." 3 weeks ago, a week after this comment was made, she posted another comment saying, "He just killed my cousin and her 5-year-old baby boy this morning after being on the run." He was allowed to continue being a free man, and he was allowed to essentially keep reoffending without any consequences. Law enforcement did nothing to protect this family. Now, a surviving child also told investigators that Irving had assaulted Jennifer as recently as March 3rd, 2026, so about 2 weeks prior to this fatal incident, when he allegedly choked Jennifer into unconsciousness and physically attacked her in a car during an incident in Minneapolis. This incident was something that law enforcement knew about prior to this fatal incident because it was again reported to them when it first happened. Just 1 day before the killings, law enforcement had actually obtained 2 arrest warrants for Irving, one related to that March 3rd assault and another tied to a separate alleged violation of a no-contact order from 2025. But the warrants had not been served at the time of the shooting, which is crazy because they had all of this evidence 2 weeks prior. They could have acted a lot quicker and possibly saved their lives. Now, this man has spent years of his life committing crimes, and police knew about it. He has close to 40 charges against him in his lifetime. Now, if Irving is convicted of the current charges he's facing, he's looking at spending about 80 years to life behind bars. But Jennifer's family wants more. They don't just want justice, they want prevention to ensure that this does not happen to another woman and her child or children. Neither Jennifer nor Marzay deserved this to happen to them, and had authorities taken these calls and reports seriously the first handful of times, they would still be here today. And that is where we need change. Authorities only seem to care after something bad has happened. We need them to start caring and acting before something bad happens. What are your guys' thoughts on this case, and do you think the second-degree murder charges should be upgraded given the fact that all of this evidence seems to suggest that this was very much premeditated and planned? Let me know in the comments.